Hello everybody, RMJ Movie Reviews back again. Man, I just heard that Wes Craven died. I believe it was yesterday Wes Craven died. Man, that's wow. That's a trip, man. I know when I had seen some recent interviews of him on YouTube, like I think he did, I don't know, it was Masters of Horror or something, but little interviews that he did. I watched those because they had like John Landis, Carpenter, Zombie, him, and I like watching those interviews. And I thought that maybe he was looking a little bit older, but he seemed like he was still on his game. I know he's in his 70s. I didn't think that he was close to passing away, and I didn't realize he had I could be wrong. From what I heard, it was brain cancer. And it's really sad, but the guy, he was looking good. I think his last movie was Scream 4. I think was the last one that he directed, and it's just really sad. I grew up on his movies, of course, Nightmare on Elm Street 1, and the original 1970s Hills Have Eyes. Of course, you guys saw my movie review for Shocker. I did see Deadly, I think it's A Deadly Friend with Christy Swanson. I saw that back in the day. He was really, honestly, just a very good filmmaker. A lot of people don't give horror, quote unquote, horror directors that props, but he was just a good, talented filmmaker. I left out Last House on the Left, the original. He was not afraid to push the boundaries, and he did that with his films. All the ones I mentioned. I left out People Under the Stairs. He pushed the boundaries to uncomfortable places. But what I liked is that even in some of his movies where he pushed the boundaries to uncomfortable places, I don't feel in a lot of his movies that he lost sight of character. So he also showed that he was just a good director. He knew how to direct actors. So even when you had these extreme situations of like Hills Have Eyes and and Robert Englund getting real kooky as Freddy Krueger, sticking his tongue out of his mouth and all that kind of stuff, and other really kind of sick stuff in these killer murderer type of movies, he still had the actors play it very seriously. Like when you watch Nightmare on Elm Street, or when you watch Scream, the original Scream, even 2 and even some stuff in 3, Hills Have Eyes, those are absurd situations, but the actors are just really, he never lost sight of character in his direction. He's a very good director. And the actor Bill Cobbs, who you all might know who he is, he's a character actor. He was actually in the film New Jack City with Wesley. He's the guy who killed Wesley Snipes as Nino Brown at the end of the movie. And he was the grandfather, Brandon Adams' grandfather in People Under the Stairs. He was the one who told him about the whole monologue about when I was a kid, we never walked past that house and they're really brothers and sisters, blah, blah, blah. I met him at an actor's workshop where he coached a lot of us on acting. And, it was kind of predominantly, people of color there, predominantly black who were at this workshop. There were a few white folks there. Only reason I'm using that, I'm giving context to the story because most of the people there weren't really fans of horror films. So I was really the only one who remembered Bill from, everybody remembered him from New Jack City and kind of other movies that he made. But I was the only one who remembered Bill from The People Under the Stairs. And of course, I still Know What You Did Last Summer, but the less said about that movie, the better. I had asked him about working on The People Under the Stairs, and I had told him how because it was after the workshop was over, we all had dinner, we ate, and it was kind of a inside the actor's studio type of situation where we were allowed to just talk to him about acting and ask him different questions about working on movies and theater and blah, 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 blah. And Bill Cobbs had said, he said that Wes Craven, because I was the only one who asked him about what was it like. I said, what was it like to work with Wes Craven on People Under the Stairs? To which case, most of the actors in there who were there were kind of like upper in age. So when People Under the Stairs came out, they were probably in their 40s or 50s. I was the only like really kid there. And then there were some people who were like younger, who were like born around that time. So I was really the only one who remembered when that movie came out. And he said that Wes Craven was just great to work with. He said Wes Craven was real cool, just a laid back guy. And he said Wes Craven was a cool guy, and he was really fun to work with. Said he was a nice guy. And from a lot of the things that I gather on YouTube and other little interviews, not to say that the man probably didn't have a crummy day like all of us do, but generally I hear that he was a good guy to work with in making films. And I'm glad my man fought that battle best he could, so condolences to Wes Craven's family and his friends. I never met the man, but I really admire his work. So hey, moment of silence for Mr. Wes Craven. Rest in peace, buddy. Your movies will live on, and I'll definitely, when I have children, I'll definitely show my kids your movies. So rest in peace, Mr. Craven. I admire your work. You seem like a good soul. RMJ Movie Reviews. I'll be back with my movie review of the 1988 movie Colors.